Hello everyone, it's Stephen. I figured today I would do something a little informal. As many of you may not know, I musically direct for a lot of places, such as I am a musical director for a local college here. I've played for equity auditions, I've done opera, I've done musicals, I've played for many schools and theaters all over the place. And between myself and my colleagues, we've told ourselves a lot of horror stories when it comes to auditions. Because a lot of performers, they want to be thought of as professional, but they don't come in that way. Now, you got to realize you're going to a audition, but you're actually auditioning 3 times during that one audition. And what I mean is this. The first one is when you're talking to the pianist. The second is when you're doing the material. The third is when you're exiting that room. Because I'm going to be quite frank. We can profile you within 5 to 10 seconds as you get into that room. My family hates it. Because they go, oh, Stephen, you're always judging people. It's like, no, I'm not judging them. It's like I can profile you pretty much on a dime because of how we've seen so many people, how they carry themselves, how their attitude is, everything else. And it's like, no, we don't want to work with this person. So how you went to that room means everything. Don't let it kid you. So what I want to do for you today is I want to make sure that, especially when it comes to the music part of it, that at least that part is going to be prepared right so it actually can enhance your audition. Now, the first thing, and I'm going to beg and beg and beg, please, put your music in a binder. None of this loose leaf stuff. Because I've had it happen more than one occasion where like a vent could be blowing and I'm trying to hold the papers together and they're going over and then it's a mess. And then I can't play what I need to play. So please put it in a binder and make sure that you have 2 copies of every piece you have in that book. And what I mean is I need sheet protectors for one of the copies and hole punched for another copy. And my reason being is because it's the pianist's preference. Now, for me, I love sheet protectors because I am extremely rough when it comes to turning. I'm like, boom. So, and very quick and very hard. So I feel very bad if I have to tear a person's piece of music. So I like the sheet protectors because if I'm ripping plastic, big deal. But so when you present the music to the pianist, you can say, well, I have 2 kinds. Which would you like? I have sheet protectors or hole punch. Which would you prefer? And be genuine when you get into the room. Because like I said, we can tell. So, and hand it. Please don't put the music in front of them and start flipping pages. Please make sure you have everything that you need for the 5 songs, pretty much like if they need to ask you to sing another song, is right there. You're not going and searching. Because time is money. This is a business and you're applying for a job. So make sure everything is expedient and professional as possible. Now, if it is a cutting of a piece and where you're starting is not the title page, there's a few things you need to have on that music. First of all, the title of the piece needs to be on top. Reason being, sometimes looking at a piece of music, I don't know what show it's from. So just having that there is a big help. The other thing is if you know, the time signature should be on there as well. Because sometimes I'm going, well, is this in 3? Is this in 12? What is this? So we don't want to be looking back. So make sure that the time signature of what the piece should be in and what the tempo is should be clearly marked. And the other thing about being marked is where you are starting and where you're stopping. Because we don't all these lines going over the place. Oh, well, I had it here and this was the alternate. No. What you have for that audition needs to be clearly marked. If it isn't, throw it out and get yourself a new one. Because, like I said, if nothing is done right, the musician will purposefully just do very basic and not elaborate and have fun and try to help you along more, because musicians do that. They will. So make sure everything is clearly so they can read it. And especially another thing about reading, actually a couple of things. Make sure it's a actual printed music and nothing handwritten. Because, I mean, I've had even some scores. I mean, I can think of one. Atrocious handwritten things for the conductor score because they didn't put it in typeset. So make sure whatever music you're getting is typeset and it's clearly written. And now, speaking of music, this is where you have to start speaking to a pianist before you even get into a room. and do your audition pieces, because some pianists cannot sight read very easily. So unless the show is specified, don't bring a Sondheim, don't bring a Jason Robert Brown. And a lot of the modern day composers, they are very elaborate in their piano parts. So if the pianist isn't that proficient in reading and sight reading, you're taking a chance. So I would definitely talk to some kind of a pianist somewhere along the line and see, is this playable? Can this person sight read this? You've got to take that into consideration, even with the chords on the top of some of these pieces. I'm not saying to bring in a tisket, a tasket, but I'm saying, make sure that it's something that a pianist is going to be able to play it, because the pianist for that audition may not be the pianist for the show. So just really keep that in mind. And again, it's just really all about attitude of how you come into the room. Be genuine. We want you to be able to get a job. We want the best for the job. We want the best, so we want you to present yourself right. So all these little things will help. So I think I covered everything. Yeah, so that pretty much is it. So I hope this helps, at least for the book part of it. Anything else about the singing and everything else, that's to your coaches. But at least for the pianist part, I hope this does help. And if you like what you've seen and heard on the channel, please think of subscribing and liking videos. And I hope to see you again. And again, as always, thank you very much for coming, and buonanotte.